Hi, this is Laura Holyoke, and I have a PowerPoint covering program evaluation. I kind of like the cartoon in the upper right-hand corner. Hey guys, did you read this part? It basically says we need an evaluation to keep getting money, and that's what we're going to talk about. Program evaluation is an organized method of collecting and analyzing information about program activities, characteristics, and outcomes to measure program effectiveness and provide input into program improvement. So here's what happens at the beginning of every evaluation. One person says, well, I know our project works. I know our program works. And the other person can easily say, no, you don't. And that's not until you collect and analyze data. So why evaluate? Lots of good reasons: to demonstrate accountability, maybe to your funders, to determine future directions of the program, to help fine-tune or improve a program. Lots of times we may not get it exactly right when we are planning a program. Could be that situations are changing in the environment. It's to determine if program objectives were met. We evaluate to discover impact the program had on participants, to obtain information for decision makers. Lots of times these may be administration. Provide information for reports. Lots of us do these annually. And then to determine best program delivery strategies. Evaluation helps to determine how successful a program is in achieving the desired outcomes. And as you look through these next bulleted boxed points, you'll see some questions, you'll see some words that may come back from the logic model. So how a program process is unfolding, what aspects of a program are working well, those are outcomes, what needs to be improved upon or changed. We can look at activities and outputs. And then level of satisfaction with the program that people have comes in terms of outcomes. Other reasons to evaluate. We gave you $500,000 the last 3 years. What did your program do with them? We have supported your program for the last 15 years. Why should we continue this support? Is your program effective? What are you doing to improve or terminate ineffective program elements? In evaluation, there's lots of different evaluation questions. There's many different types of evaluations. However, you can break them down into two very broad kinds of questions. The first set is a process or formative questions. These, the answers to these questions help to improve program, and it tells you how well the program is operating, how well the program has been implemented. And then on the other side of a logic model, we look at outcome, that is result-focused or summative questions. Once we're into the program for 1, 3, 5 years, or at the end of a program, it helps to prove whether the program worked the way it was intended. Is the program accomplishing its intended results? So in looking at, I think you can see the bottom part of this. Here's an example of a logic model. And at the bottom, you can see on the left side of that, the inputs, the activities. Outputs start to become a little bit of outcomes, but more so activities and outputs become a process evaluation. They are these look like or are called implementation questions or process questions. Once you get into outcomes, short, medium, and some long-term outcomes, you're talking about an outcome evaluation. And then finally, impact evaluation measures whether the program or policy caused the desired impacts that we were hoping to. Characteristics of evaluation questions is that they're practical and measurable. So does it make sense that we are asking this? And can we measure it? That questions can be answered through data collection process. that questions are reflective of the type of evaluation being carried out. And then what information do you need to answer the questions? There's a difference sometimes between what I wish to know and what I need to know. And then to consider also indicators, how well I know it when I see it. So what can be evaluated or should be evaluated based on the logic model? What parts of the logic model should be evaluated after 1, 3, 5 years? Well, you can continue to look at the process and see how well it's working. And also to continue to look at the outcomes. Are they what you are expecting? Are they what you hope for? Can things be adjusted? So we really need to sit back and think, okay, what would, if I'm giving somebody $50,000 to do a self-development improvement plan, what kind of things would I like to know? So bottom right, you say your program works, but why should I believe you? Because I have evidence, and you need the correct evidence. So evaluation, what do you and others want to know about this program? So you see, these are not evaluation questions on the bottom. However, when we get to do our evaluation plan, I kind of have three general overarching questions. But within those, you can see asking how many sessions were actually delivered, how effectively were they delivered, the number of quantity of certain things in your activities and outputs. Were you satisfied with how things came about in terms of your activities and output? And then starting with short term, to what extent did knowledge and skills increase? In a program evaluation, you would ask for whom and why, but you can also ask why did certain knowledge and skills increase? What else happened when you implemented your program? And then for medium term, to what extent did behaviors change? What else happened? So a lot of times evaluations tend to look at the unintended outcomes, which may be good or they may not be so good. And then finally, impact or long-term, to what extent are relations improved? To what extent are you meeting your overall goals and objectives? Something about evaluation is that it parallels research quite a bit. So the guys on the top say, this research is really going to move our field forward. And the guy on the right says, this evaluation is really going to help our program become more effective. If you look at the steps in planning and evaluation, they are often the same sorts of steps that go into a research project or a research study. And then Dilbert, I have the ability to quantify the unquantifiable. That is why they call me Dogbert the Quantifier. Who calls you that? 8 people. Finally, if you get this stuff and you're reading and like the idea of evaluation and program evaluations and understand it, I invite you to check out, and the link is on our website, but it's also www.eval.org. This is American Evaluation Association, and people actually become program evaluators and make a lot of money. So I encourage you, if you're interested, to take a look at this website, do some digging around, look at what they offer, look at, if you're interested, look at what it might take to become a program evaluator. Thank you so much for your time today.